You know, love heals all, love heals all, love heals all. When a person is miserly, learn to give them. If there is a thief, learn to teach them how to give. Do the opposite always. Where there is fire, you put water. Where there is cruelty, you put kindness. It's the only way to teach. There's no other way. So, and this has to be done in your daily life. It cannot be done in this hall or in this room. Because we all think alike anyway. I think we all love each other anyway. What we come here to do is to make this energy grow in ourselves, to remind ourselves. That's what satsang is for. Just reminder, reminder, reminder. And of course the energy force field is there. Like Lord Jesus said, where 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, I am there. Why? Because if each one is divine, and we are awakening this spiritual energy, which we call the Kundalini energy, right? You all know what Kundalini energy is. It's our spiritual energy that exists in our spine, that lives in the base of our spine. And with the practice of yama niyama, the practice of service, the practice of bhakti, loving, the practice of knowledge, jnana yoga, with all these hatha yoga to make the strong body, what happens is your spiritual energy awakens. And all it's doing is giving your energy field giving your force field more space, more power, more protection. It's actually a physical thing that happens to you. So the more you meditate, people will start feeling energies in their body move. I don't know if you felt them. Have you felt them? They're like waves. They move in your body. If you do a lot of hatha yoga, you will feel the spine, the energy up your spine. Any of you felt it? Yeah, when you do hatha yoga with meditation, if you try to do a hatha session on your own, maybe just put the mantra, nothing else, in a quiet room, and just keep the mantra and do a really good hatha session, quite strong, keep it meditative, you see what happens to you. It's quite phenomenal. It's not difficult to achieve. So many teachers, what happens, they give a class once a week, but they forget to do the quiet practice on their own. And this is so important to maintain. You've got to do the quiet practice. Or you put on a CD or Gurudev or something that elevates the mind, and you just do your whole practice, listen to it. And if you don't like hatha yoga, then do just some gentle stretches while you are just focusing on each movement. I'm moving my arm. Who does this arm belong to? Why am I moving it? Because my mind is telling me to move it. My mind tells me not to move it. It's not going to move. So who is talking to my mind? Who is making these decisions? And with every single movement, you ask yourself these questions. They will reinforce very simply who you are. And the more you know who you really are, and you're really, really, really not this body, the more you know that you are spirit, the more you have love and compassion for everybody else. Because you realize we're all in the same boat, struggling to survive in this world. Today's topic actually is understanding natural disasters, you know, or world disasters, whatever it is. Same thing. And this world, you know, I looked at the title which Shanti had written for me, and I thought, from the beginning of time, you know, everybody 2012, but from the beginning of time, if you look at history, there's always been world disasters, which was the biggest disaster, Noah's Ark, right? And there's been ice ages, we've had earthquakes, you know, 1920, I think, or was it 1918, was this huge earthquake in Italy that created so much death. You know, we've had the Black Death, we've had AIDS, and now we have cancer.
There was a tsunami in Portugal that came here as well, many
years ago. So if you look at the news, there's always been disasters, and there's always been stages where there's been more than the rest. So there's nothing different that we are going through. So all this talk, 2012, all this is going to happen, maybe. But the more you think it, collective thinking will create it. As you think,
so you become.
Yeah, so collective thinking. Haven't you noticed when people collectively in a household or your friends collectively think negative, you create a negative situation. You create the negative situation. That's in your power, because if you just see the moment now, it's now. There's nothing else but now. We disturb now with our thoughts. We disturb now with our thoughts. In the process of meditation, or as Sri Patanjali says, what is practice?
Steadiness of mind.
Good, you know your work. Everybody learn it. Effort towards steadiness of mind. Can you all say it? Effort towards steadiness of mind. So who makes the effort?
You.
What is the effort towards?
Steadiness of mind.
And what do you consider steadying of the mind? What do you consider meditation? No,
Balance.
balance.
Steadiness. No scattiness.
No fickleness, no scattiness. Or what should I do?
Drama.
No drama. Yes.
Drama queen.
The world is full of drama queens.
Being aware when the mind is in drama.
Pardon?
Being aware when the mind is in drama, but you're still steady.
Yes.
Yes.
That's wisdom. Discriminative discernment that comes through time and practice of the 8 limbs of yoga, as Sri Patanjali says, book 228. By the practice of the 8 limbs of yoga, there dawns the light of wisdom, leading to discriminative discernment. You learn, okay, discriminative discernment. What is that? Okay, your mind's all over the place. Guess what? I'm not. It's all over the place. It's all over the place. Already you lighten your load. It's everywhere. Okay, it's really, I can't bear it. It's too much. It's too much. Yeah, it's too much. So what can I do to change it?
Chant.
Now.
Last retreat, isn't it? This is the last retreat we had.
Did we? Is that what we did? Chant, 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 chant. It works. Chanting does lift your
It does.
spirit. Definitely. Well, here we have a person who loves chanting.
It's true, it's very true. I mean, I use it. I was telling the students in Spain, I use it because each time it seems that you need more makeup to cover your wrinkles, right? So initially I used to take 5-10 minutes. Now it's like 20 minutes. So I thought to myself, look, this is not good. 20 minutes, you know, with your mind going all over the place. So I've been playing Narayani's CD. Sorry? Narayane's CD. Or I listen to one of your talks, or one of Gurudev's talks, because I can't chant while I'm putting my makeup on. So,
you think to basics, right? Wrinkles, a few wrinkles, aging.
So what are you saying? That it still takes longer than before, but your mind, you're not now focused on the wrinkles, you're focused on something else.
not so much maybe on the wrinkles, but you know, it says that an idle mind is a devil's playground. So if you're there, and maybe, you know, negative thoughts creeping. So you have this in the background, and
More focus.
that's it.
Take your
Because
mind somewhere high.
you're still chanting it in your mind, you know, even if you're not chanting it yourself. And I wanted to say something, Nalanie, when you were talking about the natural disasters, you know, how they've been happening forever and ever. And I got the thought of, in the Bible, they call all these natural disasters that they talk about, they call it salvation history.
Interesting.
It is, isn't it? It's interesting that they should call it that.
Yeah. You know why they call it that?
Because it's
Cleansing
awakening
times.
It's awakening. Yeah. And our world is going through a shift, so we're awakening. It's a wonderful shift. Don't fear 2012, doomsday. 2012. Yes, wake up. Wake up. Collective thinking. All of us should think it's a beautiful world. We're making it a better place. Yes, there are disasters everywhere. Bless them. Bless the waters. Bless the earth. Bless the skies. Constantly. So much fear in the world. Everybody watches the news. Oh my God, I'm scared to fly on a plane because I may die. I might be bombed. Oh my God, I don't want to travel. Traveling today is so dangerous. You know, people have developed so much fear. And as you think, it's dangerous. It will be dangerous. Because you're expecting it. You're expecting it to be dangerous. The nature will provide it for you. So whenever you see any of these, that's why I love watching the news. I love watching the news because I superimpose, you know, for example, everybody is talking about Gaddafi in Libya, and I'm just praying for him. I'm literally praying for him, that he may have a clear mind, you know.
And maybe all this is happening, sorry to interrupt, because collectively people want change. Maybe we're creating or bringing upon us something in the wrong way with wars and Gaddafi and all this, but I think collectively people want change. Everybody we speak to is like fed up of just going to work, to jobs they don't like, to earn money, to live in a pigeonhole, and to pay extortionate bills, and people are fed up of doing that.
Yes.
So maybe collectively we're bringing all this on because we don't know of another way to make it change.
Yes.
So we need to see, well, if it comes through wars or natural disasters, we're wanting the change, and maybe this is the way we're bringing it on.
It will waken us up, but it's not the idea. And it's not, it will happen. People have to change. People have to change when there's a natural disaster. But look at the way Japan handled their disaster. Have you seen how they've handled the disaster? So much honor, so much dignity. Very humble people, very spiritual people. They're very spiritual. All helping one another. All helping neighbors. They're all getting water collectively. They become a family in disaster. And this is what we need to learn from that example.
Because they were saying there as well, most people have everything in Japan. So there was no looting, because people already have the TVs, the phones. Nobody needs anything more. It was well balanced before. But here, this in the rest of Europe, I may be wrong, there's so much difference between maybe people who don't have that.
There is in Japan too. It's in Japan. Yeah, it's everywhere. It's not. I've been to Japan. You have all types of people.
Because I heard that and I thought, well, maybe it's
not
an
in their
idea.
nature.
No,
It's not in their nature to.
It's not
They're
in
more
their nature.
disciplined people.
Yeah, exactly. That is more the truth.
in karma and.
Yeah, they're just more disciplined. Yeah.
Well organized.
Yes, and honor is very important. Dignity is very important. Integrity is very important. These are the words that we don't hear today. In the old days in the West, if you tell somebody something verbally, it's almost that you won't cancel, you won't, you know. But nowadays, people make appointments and they cancel with no regard for somebody else's time, no respect, no. It's just, and they, you know, they give. I don't know how many times I've been cancelled in the last 20 years, and yet I come and I don't charge. And they call me and they're desperate for an appointment. I'm just showing you human nature. They're desperate. I have to see you, I have to see you. Okay, and I will shift and cancel this and cancel that and cancel that to be there. And they cancel, which for me is no big deal. You know, but I'm just showing you what human nature has become. There's no word of honor. I have to follow, but you can't lower your ideals just because the world doesn't do it. And this is what people do now. They sell themselves short. Oh, this person didn't do it, I can do it too. No, we must maintain our ideals. I'm very glad when I have a cancellation. I can have a nice chat. I had a chat with Les this afternoon because he'd just come back from England from his checkup to find out how he was, otherwise I wouldn't have known. So you see, God always gives you time to do what you need to do. But other people may get angry, but it's just not a nice thing to do for the other person. And today's world is like that. People don't have any discipline. They don't have any respect for their word. So the word is powerful. When you live what you speak, your words become very powerful. Did you know that? You can really shift people with words. You can shift life with words if you live your words. But if you speak and you don't live the way you speak, you cannot shift anyone. You are no good to anyone. It's just empty words coming out. And that's what Gandhi said as well. Gandhiji said that, you know, if you give advice, you must live that advice. Otherwise, don't give advice. You're wasting your energy, you're wasting people's money. You're just disturbing their mind stuff more. You're creating more disarray everywhere you go. Better to keep quiet. When you live it, when you've gone through it, when you've understood it, when you have the compassion for it, and then you speak about it. That's why I always tell all of you teachers, don't speak about something you don't know. If somebody asks you a question you don't know it, say you don't know. But never speak on a subject you don't know about. But when you speak, because many people teach the teachers you have to prepare the class. Now, yes, if you're giving a talk on maybe science or biology and you have to have facts and figures, it's different. But when you're talking about the spirit, it's something so subtle. You cannot transmit the spirit. You cannot transmit the spirit if it's only hearsay, mouth stuff. You have to transmit spirit by your own love and your own experience. And what is spirit? What is spirit? When do you feel it? When do you feel it?
When you're in
When
touch.
you're most in tune with it.
Yeah. And what do you feel when you're in tune? What is the feeling you feel? What do you feel when you're in tune?
When you're asking,
alive.
I think
Oh.
it's Khalil Gibran.
Yes.
He says that the soul is the harp, and you can create either sweet music or disturbing sounds.
Absolutely.
So just remember that I read it this afternoon, and it's like, bondage or liberation that we say. It's up
Yes.
to us what we do.
Yeah. But make the music. Don't just talk. Oh, I'm going to do this, and then, oh no, I'd rather do this, Service, everybody. Oh, it's convenient for me to serve, so I will serve. Not convenient, I won't serve. Is that service? Everybody can do that. Everybody can have an extra spare. Oh, I have a spare hour today, so I'll do it. There's no sacrifice in it. There's no service in it. Is there? Are you stretching yourself beyond yourself? That's when you see the sacrifice. That's when you see the service. Easy to do when I have an hour free. Okay, I'll do it today.
But I think also even in your regular job, you could put that little bit of extra in for service.
Absolutely.
And not expecting to be paid for it. But I mean, just to love what you're doing, even if it's not always nice every day, but still to put in that extra
That's
bit.
yoga. That's where you should practice it. That's exactly the truth. And that's where you gain self-respect. Because you know you're going the extra mile. And who are the people who make it big anyway in this world? They are those that go the extra mile. That don't clock every second that they put in, but just give of their time. They go because that's your work is, there's no more gratitude for jobs these days. You see the karma of work? Nobody's grateful for their job. Always complaining. And I go, but you should be happy you got a job. It pays for your food and it gives you a house. Learn to love your job. Don't complain. Okay, it's not the perfect job, but one day it will come.
But they're not willing to change either. They're complaining and they don't do anything about it.
This is human. This is the state of the human being. And this is the practice of yoga, because we're so steeped into this state and we are really clouded by what we call Maya, just like a veil. We think we're so good and we do so much. But how many times people have said to me, oh, I'm really a good person. I'm really a good person. I don't know why this has happened to me. So I look at them, I say, oh, really? What makes you so good? Well, I look after my family. Doesn't everybody? Doesn't everybody? Isn't that mostly the case? Oh, I cook for my family. Well, most people do that if we have to have food to eat. What else? Do you go out of your way for anybody else or anything else? What makes you so good? Why do you think you should be an exception to the rule? Why do you think that you're better? You're so good that no suffering should come to you? Everybody suffers. I don't know one person that doesn't. It's a huge ego there. You see, they're so, but it's not a fault. It just is what is. And I meet people on a daily basis who have problems, and when they come to see me, I tell them right away, because the conversation is, I don't have enough. I want this. My husband doesn't provide me this. My wife doesn't do that. It's all I want. I said, no wonder you're miserable. It's all about you. It's all about what you, I would be miserable if I was thinking about myself, I all day. There's so much more to do than the I. There's so much out there. There's the we, and there's the fun in we. We had such a nice time in Sri Lanka. The we, that was energetic. We were energetic because why? We were doing something, creating something that would bring a lot of joy to many disciples of Sri Swami Satchidananda in the future. And we felt part of this we team. It wasn't, none of us said I, all of us said we. For the benefit of all. And then there's a feeling of joy. Because I really don't want to do another trip, going to Sri Lanka, what a long flight, 16 hours, poor me. And come back, get to work, next day phone calls, people are in trouble, poor me. I would be sick. Do you see what I'm saying? But it's we, it's the fun, it's, oh God, thanks for another job, thanks for another thing to do. Oh good, I don't need to cook, I can have Raita for lunch because I'm too busy. I'm not thinking I'm hungry. I'm thinking I don't, food is not that important because I'm busy. Do you see the difference? And then there's not this problem about diets and all this mind stuff that people get because they're all day long having nothing else to do with their time. So it's diets and diets and diets and wrinkles and diets. And
It's true, absolutely.
That's all I hear these days. And I go, don't you think anything else in the brain? Isn't your life more precious than, than all these thoughts? I mean, it's quite frightening. Quite frightening. I go, your life is going away. Tick-tock, tick-tock, tick-tock. And all you can think about is all-day food. All day. That's why they say pratyahara, right? Sense control. Practice that. Practice sense control. Because then the mind is not moving you all the time. And of course, you've got the perfect tool, which is pratibhaksha-bhavana. When you have not sense control, when your senses go all over the place, see what it does to you. See the negative pratibhaksha-bhavana. I know that by doing this, I'm suffering. This thought brings suffering. So why am I repeating this thought? That's seeing what the negative thought does to you. It's also very effective. Every time this negative thought comes, I feel sad, I feel depressed, I'm all day thinking like this. I've just lost a day in my life. You keep telling yourself like that for 3 or 4 days, you don't want to lose the 4th day. You know what? I'm not going to bother today. I want to be busy. If I'm hungry, I'll eat. If I'm not hungry, food thought comes, okay, I don't want to go down that road. But we have such an obsession these days. Everybody's got OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder. And one way or the other, so many people have addictions, emotional addictions, food addictions, alcohol addictions, I don't know, so many. Control addictions, attachment addictions, Oh my God, everybody seems to be so addicted to everything. Because of the lack of understanding. Understanding that I am not this body, I'm not this mind. Immortal self I am. I'm immortal. As the world has disasters, so the world will have people. It'll keep regenerating. We're not so important. Don't give yourself so much importance. None of us are. Everybody is dispensable. Everybody. How many people say, oh, I couldn't live without this or without that. People go 5, 10 years later, everybody's forgotten them already.
And sooner.
Or sooner. People forget. 5, 10, yes, this is why you understand the great souls like Sri Swami Satchidananda, Jesus, Buddha. How powerful they were spiritually. People haven't forgotten. Gandhi, people haven't forgotten because their power was so purely good that it actually shifts the world. Unfortunately, their teachings are always misused, misunderstood. But keep it simple, like I said 2 weeks ago to all of you. Keep it simple. Stick to pure teachings. Be good. Do good. Keep it simple. Don't get so complicated with the mind stuff. It will give you many reasons why should I do it for them? They didn't do it for me. Oh, mind games. This is why non-attachment. This is why karma yoga. Don't expect. Do it for your own good. It makes you free. And all this started from SIS, right? The meaning of SIS, the meaning of yoga, and the meaning of who we are born to be is really what is so important. We are magnets. When we fill our hearts with warmth and love and compassion, we become magnets. We have a duty to do that. Because so many are asking. So many. You just said so many. Everybody's now wanting. So few have the knowledge. So few have the knowledge. So you really want to teach? Live the knowledge. Adjust, adapt, accommodate, bear insult, bear injury.
Do good, be good.
Be kind. Yeah, be kind. For me, it's very simple. Good-heartedness, straightforwardness, kindness, speech. We were talking about it yesterday. Austerities of speech. What does that mean? Speech should be truthful, beneficial, produce a tranquil feeling, be useful, beneficial, useful. That's how we should speak. Much of the time we speak rubbish because we're thinking nonsense. You have a thought that is negative. Most people. Everybody has negative thoughts. The mind is like a mirror. Everybody. Problem? Give the negative thought too much energy. I had this negative thought, so again, till you become bad-tempered, or angry, or fearful. So don't feed. The secret is don't feed the negative thought. Don't feed it. You know the story of the two wolves, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So you all know the story, so I don't need to tell it. But don't feed. Try to detach from the thought patterns. Work, that's why I love work. Work helps you to detach. And you're absolutely right, Patty. You're absolutely right. An idle mind is a devil's workshop. Well, what kind of work? Something that gives you fulfillment. Something that means something to you, not like robots at the end of the day. That you've completed a day and you've been useful, at least to one purpose or one person. Just one person a day. Make it like a game. Hariyo Mangala. I sent you a text, but it didn't get through. I don't know why you never received my text. How are your parents? That was my worry.
So, yeah, they've been better.
Yeah, because I was thinking about you, so I sent you about 3 or 4, but it all comes back not receivable. So I don't want to call because I know you're busy. So you okay?
Yeah.
Tough times, huh?
It is. It's
Lot of sacrifice.
You just don't see them getting any better. In fact, they keep on getting worse, and the treatments keep on getting more demanding, more invasive. They help with one thing and knock-on effect on 3 other things. So yeah, it's a difficult one.
Yeah. God bless you.
Thank you.
See, tapas. It burns, huh? This is not austerity. It burns because she has no life of her. Sorry. We're just talking about world disasters, so I think this is very appropriate.
And service.
Yeah, and service. You see, you have no more time. Your time is gone. But the gods will bless you so much for this. So much. Very difficult when you're going through. You burn. It's really hard. It's like you've lost control of everything. And
Basically,
somebody's-
that's
yeah.
it.
You've
And for
lost.
such
you know,
important people like parents.
yeah,
Yeah.
you lost control. It's almost life seems like a dream now. It doesn't make any sense.
You lose control, and at the same time, you don't see them getting any better, and they don't have a quality of life.
And
You don't see them any happier for it. So that is the hard part, because for sacrificing and doing, that's not the difficult part. It's just seeing that no matter how much one does, it still doesn't seem to make any difference for the better for them at the moment.
Accepting pain has helped for purification, says Sri Patanjali. Study of spiritual books and surrender to the supreme power is yoga in action. And that's what you are doing. Accepting pain. And I think it's much harder to watch people you love suffer than it is to suffer yourself. Yeah, it's harder. You watch somebody you love deteriorate, your parents, you know, for me, my husband, my father, to watch them deteriorate, and nothing, like you said, medical science can't do. All the talk about doctors, and you find that everybody will give you a different theory or answer, and then they don't, and then you realize nobody really knows, do they? Have you realized that? Nobody seems to try this treatment and try this treatment and try this treatment. And nobody really knows, because life teaches us that that's the truth. We do not have any control. We just fool ourselves and think we have some. But sad, isn't it? So when these times come, there's a burning, there's a tapas, and that's the real meaning of tapas. And to be able to do it and bear it is the quality of a yogi. It's in the world, working in the world, in difficult times, maintaining your honor and your strength, even though the first thing you want to do is run away from it all. Do you feel like that sometimes? You want to just get away from it all, but you can't. You can't. Your soul won't let you. With a native, when everything does pass, then there's a feeling of gratitude, real gratitude, that you're the strength to overcome, to help in such a difficult time for another soul. And that will make you feel very good about yourself. In the Bible it says, for what does it benefit a man to gain the whole world and of his own soul?
As what? Sorry? To suffer
The loss of his own
soul.
soul. And so many people do that. Better to have nothing and have your soul and have your dignity and have your... Although hard, it's not easy to do. It's not easy to maintain yourself in this time. It's very hard to do. It's such hard work. It takes every bit of energy you have. But that's tapas, that's learning, that's spiritual muscle. And then things pass, and then after that you become very strong and you become very compassionate of anybody else you see going through this situation. You won't say, how can you not cope? It's your parents. What you will do is hug them and say, oh, I know how difficult it is. You can come and have a good cry with me. There's a different attitude. You will develop this understanding of real tapas. A lot of people don't really understand it, and this is why world disasters happen, and this is why personal disasters happen, to wake us up. And then, naturally, what happened to Buddha? Naturally, he became detached. Why? Because he was protected in his youth. Protected and looked after and had everything that life could give him. Never thought about suffering. So the first day he goes is one of the servants takes him to the streets of the town. And what does he see? He sees old people sick on the road. Death. And he asks, what is this? what is this? And I said, well, one day we all get sick, one day we all die, one day this all happens. He goes, but what for? Then what is this all? Why am I just in that palace and living like this? What is the purpose of life? What is the purpose of life? And that's, he had a realization. What is the purpose of life? And at the end, I'm going to suffer and die in a sick bed, miserable. What is the purpose? It was a shock to his system. The shock was so great that he had to find the truth. The truth was more important than his comforts. The truth was more important because the truth was, in the end, everybody comes to this. There is death. There is illness. Everybody. But he saw it. So he searched for something more meaningful, more lasting. And then he did his own burning, understanding. What is more lasting? Nothing here lasts. Nothing.
How the plan is so perfect, because if his dad had not had this idea of protecting him, thinking he could, he would never have had the shock, because he was older when he suddenly, and we all grow up with it, so it's part of life, and for him he had to be so protected, to then it be an impact and have this, so we're always, in this choosing our parents for experience, etc.
Yes. Also karmic. Also karma puts you in the Bhagavad Gita chapter 6. Lord Krishna tells Arjuna, when he says, when I die, and I've started this yoga, but I haven't got there yet, I haven't achieved it, and then supposing I die, what happens? I haven't enjoyed both worlds. I'm not realized, and at the same time, I've sacrificed so much. So what's the point, right? He asked very clearly, what happens to me? And then he goes, don't worry, my son. To one who does good, there is no bad end. All that will happen is, you will die, you will get a new body, and you will be born to prosperous family, where you can continue your spiritual studies, or even a higher birth, you will be born to masters, spiritual heads. And why prosperous? It's prosperous in spiritual education. You get education. With education, a lot comes. So he was born to the prosperous family, probably all the temple prayers like people did in those days. And then he went in the street, had the memory of his past lives. They said he remembered 500,000 past lives.
Wow.
Goodness. And there was a book on it.
Oh,
number 100,000, yeah. You haven't
And
read
then we
that?
just arrived here.
Yeah.
A couple minutes ago, right?
Yeah.
What's the name of that book?
One of the books on Buddha. I've read so many Buddhist books. And if you haven't read, I've just bought Patty and Julio the Dharmapada. It's a lovely little book that if you, it's a Buddhist teaching. It's like the sutras, there's so many lovely things that you can read in this world. Why make your mind unhappy when you can read such beautiful things that just cheer you
What sort
up?
of lives have you led to have to live 500,000 lives?
What?
You're going to sound like the story you tell us, no?
Yeah, with the
About
tree.
the
Do you know what? It doesn't really matter. None of it matters.
More than 5,000 years on the tree.
Okay, let's see. I just opened a page just to show you these sutras are so beautiful. One is not versed in the Dharma because one speaks much. One who, after hearing even a little Dharma, does not neglect it, but personally realizes its truth, is truly versed in the Dharma. You know what Dharma means? Duty. Your duty to life, your duty to people. So one who is not versed in Dharma, because they speak too much. In other words, they don't listen. And one who, after hearing even a little, does not neglect it personally, realizes Dharma. So if you hear even a little, use it. This is just picking at any page. A monk is not an elder because his head is grey. He is but ripe in age, and is called one grown old in vain. Have you understood that one? Did you understand that one?
Can you read it again?
A monk is not an elder. An elder is one that's respected, right? Because his head is